Hello, welcome to BQ Prime. We're watching a special interaction with Suzlon management. The company came out with a QIP which was fully subscribed, raised nearly 2,000 odd crores. And joining me is Himanshu Mody, CFO of Suzlon Group. Himanshu, thank you very much for joining us on BQ Prime. To begin with, 2,000 crores you have raised. This is the second QIP in 2 years, if I'm not wrong. Uh, how are you going to use the QIP proceeds?
So thank you for having me, Sujit. A large part of the QIP proceeds would be used for the debt repayment. So about 1,500 crores out of the 2,000 would be for debt repayment. And the balance 500 would be towards the issue expenses, capex, and working capital requirements of the company. With 1,500 crore debt repayment, the company would be a net debt-free company at a consolidated basis. So after sort of almost 15 years, the company would be a debt-free balance sheet.
Can you take us through what will be the gross debt on the company on a consolidated basis?
The gross debt was about close to 1,800 crores, which we reported in the Q1 of FY24 as per our results, about 1,800 crores.
And of that 1,500 crores, you would pay up from the QIP proceeds, if I'm not wrong, right?
That's right. So we pay the 1,500 crores from the QIP proceeds, plus there is some DSRA cash margin earmarked to the lenders and the internal cash flow, which, over the last couple of months that we utilized to reduce the debt would make the balance sheet a debt-free balance sheet.
Okay. Give me a sense of how the capex is going to take place, because you're going to use some of the proceeds for capex as well.
Yeah, so this year we'll be incurring, certain capex, which is, adding capacities towards our manufacturing. So, about a delta capex of about 250 crores is what we'll be incurring, which will be out of the QIP proceeds.
And will it be to enhance your capabilities as well? 3.3 megawatt is something which some of the players are looking at. What is your view on that? Are you looking at a higher capability?
The last part of the capex is towards enhancing or adding capacities for our 3 megawatt turbine, which has seen a very good response from our customers. So the capex that we incur in this year would enable us to deliver significant orders for the 3 megawatt turbine, largely for FY25.
Okay. Give me a sense of how is the order book looking for you, and how do you see this industry? We've seen a lot of turmoil in the last couple of years because of tariffs and other issues which are coming in. Do you think all those things have stabilized now, and it's constant order flows which are expected?
So our order book currently is about 1.6 gigawatts approximately, which is a confirmed order book available with us. From an industry perspective, difficult to predict the exact numbers, but of course, the policymakers have issued a bidding calendar, which requires that at least 10 gigawatts of wind bids will happen in one financial year. And this calendar is valid for the next 4 to 5 years. So significant capacity addition on the wind sector is likely to happen over the next 2 years.
And do you think that the industry players have capability to service 10 gigawatts every year?
Again, if you look at the highest peak that the country did was about 5.5 gigawatts in 2017. And during that year, we, as Suzlon, did about 1.7, 1.8 gigawatts, so about one third. Now, we must not forget that this was about 6 years back. And all of these machines were a 2 megawatt turbine. So which means that, if we are all moving to a 3 megawatt turbine regime, then the number of turbines remaining the same, we could have 6 years back done over 8 gigawatts plus. So there is no reason why 6 years hence with a high powered machine, which all of us and competitors are supplying, why we should not be able to get to that number. I'm not saying you will get there in FY24, but directionally, the sort of industry that's been fledgling at about 2 gigawatts for the last few years, certainly will see a discontinued hockey stick growth over the next few years.
Okay. And if you spoke about the fact that 1.6 gigawatt is the order book position, is it what is the mix there? I mean, is it entirely 2 gigawatts, or there's a mix of two and three which is coming in that order book?
Sorry, your voice was muffled, so I couldn't get the
I'm saying the
question.
1.6 gigawatt is the order book position. What is the mix of that? Is it two and three mix, or is it entirely two?
So out of the 1.6, about 55% is 3 megawatt machines, and about 45% is the 2 megawatt machines for us.
How do you see this market growing, Himanshu? You've been a veteran here in this market. Uh, Now, of course, the government has put out a timeline of 10 gigawatts every year, and is the industry equipped enough to handle that? Maybe not in FY24 or 25, 26, 27. Is there enough capacities coming in to manage that, or is the industry now looking at higher capabilities? You spoke about three. Now, some of the players, industry peers are talking of 3.3 or 4. Are you looking at that kind of capability increase, which to cater to this kind of demand?
So as I said, in 2017, the industry did about 5.5 gigawatts. That's data for us to see, and those were all 2 megawatt machines. So there's no reason why we cannot, as an industry, do 8 to 10 gigawatts or even more in a year on a high-powered machine. Whether it is the policymakers, utility companies, C&I customers, OEM suppliers like us, our backend supply chain. Definitely the ecosystem is gearing up towards meeting that kind of demand. If we also see the Q1 numbers for this financial year, FY24, in Q1, the country has already added about 1.1 gigawatt of capacity in one quarter itself. So even if one were to just annualize that, one is looking at anywhere between 4 to 5 gigawatts of capacity addition in this year itself, which is more than double capacity additions that have happened over the last few years. So I think from an industry perspective, we have no doubt that the momentum and the tailwinds continue to be very strong. And as a strong leading industry participant, we are in the right place to garner our fair share.
Mm, from a capacity point of view, Himanshu, will you be able to hit 3 or 3.5 gigawatts a year, given the fact that now you're moving towards a higher end, turbines?
So, I mean, I don't want to give a target number, of what Suzlon can do or cannot do. Of course, from our installed base perspective, we have the ability to do anywhere between 3 to 4 gigawatts in a mix of 2 and 3 megawatt turbines. We have that strong foundation and backend already available where we are able to do that. If the industry requirements are there and orders are there, which is what it looks like, then, from an execution perspective, I don't think there should be a challenge for Suzlon.
Hmm. Uh, 1,500 crores of gross debt, which you will be repaying after this QIP. Uh, Give me a sense of how the P&L will look in FY24.
Well, again, I don't want to give any guidance on the P&L for
I'm
24,
talking about
20.
how much of that will flow through to the profits.
So again, very difficult. All I would say is that, in FY23, we did about 664 megawatts of deliveries. And in FY23, our revenue was about 6,000 crores with an EBITDA of about 840 crores. And we had about 400 crores of interest costs in FY23. Now, FY24, as we stand today for 24 and 25, put together, we have already 1.6 gigawatts confirmed orders with us. And, with the debt off our books, the entire interest cost line gets saved. So we will be looking at, healthy EBITDA and PAT margins. But again, directionally, I don't want to give any guidance on numbers as yet.
Is the entire 400 crore going to flow through to the PBT?
Sorry, can you repeat the
I'm saying
question?
the entire 400 crores of interest cost which was there, will that entirely flow through to the PBT?
Yes, it should. Of course, it would rather, except for the first 5 months. So from 1st April till date, whatever interest costs we've borne, and there may be some small interest costs that may come in on account of working capital limits, which we will be securing going forward to meet out our order.
Himanshu, it was a pleasure talking to you today. Thank you very much for joining us on BQ Prime.
Thank you, Sunny. Pleasure.
Thank you.